So, in this case, being that I trust 1MinuteMan, he's been a supporter for how many years? We're going to count it. So, it's a $25 tip from 1MinuteMan. Okay? Okay. I think this is actually a quick and good topic to cover. All right? But here's what 1MinuteMan has to say. In regards to your upcoming documentary, if this entire thing just becomes a he said, she said, and there's no way to prove anything either way, it's just going to be fodder for detractors and no benefit to you at all. First of all, I want you to understand something. This documentary is not for my detractors. My detractors already have 500 documentaries. You understand? And they're all negative. 100% negative. 0 positive. No pushback. No other perspective. It's literally just 100%. Here's a bunch of negative stuff about Phil. That's not what this documentary is whatsoever. Okay? That's number one. Number two, what you have to understand is that this documentary is not super long. This is not a 3-hour endeavor. These documentaries, like this Mike Clum documentary about me, will probably be on target, probably about an hour long. Okay? It's going to cover a tremendous amount of topics, including me growing up, what my life was like as a kid, how I got into gaming, how I got into competitive Street Fighter, how that influenced me in my earlier years, how that turned me into a young adult who was interested in games, how I got into YouTube, my history as a YouTuber. All of this stuff. Like, there's going to be an entire day where I'm just going to be interviewed about my history as a YouTuber, and that information will be clipped up to be used as this part of the documentary. You understand? Like, this is not, oh, for an hour it's everyone riffing on Phil and then we just get Phil's responses. That's not the point. In fact, when you're doing a documentary like this, okay, the whole point is to keep it moving and keep it interesting and to cover a wide variety of topics and information. Will there be segments in this documentary where basically things will be talked about that are negatives about me? Yes. Will there be segments that are going to talk about all the controversial things that my detractors mention? Yes. Will they be dwelled upon and fully fleshed out and or hammered in? No. That's not the point of the documentary. You see? It's supposed to be an actual documentary about me and my life and all the struggles that I've had. And yes, we're going to address all the negative stuff. It's all going to come out, and there's going to be other perspectives. That's why Mike is talking to other people. If it were just me talking, this would be the most boring one-sided documentary. If it were just people who don't like me talking, this would be the most boring one-sided documentary. Do you see? If it were people who only like me talking and not me, like what if it was people who know me, my family members, my fans talking, and it was only them? That also would be boring. The whole point is to encompass the whole gamut of the entire situation. Why is the name Darkside Phil a name that is so contentious and a name that people know on the internet? Why do people care about me? Do people really know the truth of me or just the memes of me? That's really what the documentary is going to be covering. You understand? A lot of this stuff. You see what I'm saying? So that's the point. And I think that's what people are not getting. They're thinking, oh, it's just going to be the entire thing is he's going to reach out to Review Tech USA and to this other person who doesn't like Phil, and they're just going to rag on him for an hour, and we're just going to get his responses, and that's the documentary. That's not even close. Trust me on this. That's not even close to what this is at all. And ultimately, I'm involved fully. I'm going to know everything that's in this thing. There's no surprises or things that, oh my God, I didn't know that was going to be in it. No, I'm going to know everything that's in it. You got to understand something, all right? This is going to be the one time in my life that I basically am going to allow something like this to happen, meaning this level of trust, access. You know what I'm saying? This is a big liability for everyone involved, including Mike. If Mike accidentally puts something out in this documentary that then harms me, he's liable. You know? So you gotta be careful. You know, that's what I mean. Like, we are all being very careful about how this is going about. It's being done respectfully and fairly. And I think that's what people just aren't understanding. You have only seen negative stuff tossed towards me for so long. Everyone is shell-shocked from the negativity and can't possibly believe there'd be a real documentary about Darkside Phil. Well, there's going to be. That's what this is going to be. And by the way, I keep telling you guys, this is going to be fun. Okay? This is going to be interesting. There's going to be stuff in here you have never seen before, even if you're a staunch supporter or a staunch hater of me. There's going to be stuff in this documentary you've never seen before or didn't know about. Or it's going to be fleshed out to a level you never understood before because it never gotten to that level. Okay? So, this is, I'm telling you, this is different. But I completely and utterly understand why people don't trust Mike. I get it. He's done one documentary on YouTube so far. That's his only track record. It was a documentary about Boogie that was super dark and sad because that's what they were going for. And there's not been a single real person on YouTube, besides some people could argue the Quartering gave me a fair interview many years ago, right? But outside of that, it's everyone's always out for themselves, right? Who's always trying to make a buck on my behalf. Anything they say negative gets a rise out of their viewing audience, so just go for the jugular, right? That's not what this is. Trust me, I wouldn't be involved with this if that's not what this is. This is not some kind of a crazy bait and switch, okay? At all. So, don't worry about that, okay? And what's absolutely hilarious is these insane conspiracy theorists. Oh, did you know that Mike Clum is funded by Keemstar? What are you talking about? What? Huh? No, he's not funded by Keem. Where's your evidence exactly? Right now, if you can present me with documents showing that all of the business endeavors that Mike Clum has run in his lifetime have been funded by Keemstar, that all the video, his whole business, he has a whole full-time business outside of this documentary stuff he's doing for YouTube that's incredibly successful. So if you can prove to me that that's actually funded by Keemstar, then I'll pull the plug on the documentary. I don't think that's going to happen. Okay? Like, where are you coming up with this stuff? Really, it's just people get this crazy, you know, this nonsense out of nowhere. I just don't understand where people, it's like people are determined to find drama. They're determined to find this stuff. You know what I mean? So far, I've literally fielded all of your apprehensions. I have literally listened to everything that you guys have had to say, and I completely understand your concerns. But the things that you come at me with, like Mike is funded by Keemstar, are completely unfounded nonsense. Okay? That's ridiculous. Ridiculousness. Anyway, so let's get off the topic of the documentary now, shall we? Thank you